Yes, the Community Action Partnership of Western Nebraska has operated the Panhandle Youth Shelter since 1984, so it's been a part of our wide array of programming for a very long time. And the youth shelter has pretty adequately served the needs through many of those years, but many things have changed through the course of the last couple of years, to the point where we really have run out of room. We're running at maximum capacity a lot of the time because some of the other shelters in Nebraska, basically between here and Grand Island, have shut down. We have increased the number of youth that are coming into the shelter on a really regular basis. Not that many actually come from out of the area, but even in our own Panhandle area, it's been a huge increase. And as you can see from our information, over the past 3 years, we've doubled in the number of youth that are being served in the shelter. So we've been at the place where we really need to look at capacity expansion for a while. And we are also facing some changes in the way licensure requirements have been made of shelters. So they've increased the amount of square footage that is required for every youth that's in the shelter. And so those things combined have led us to a campaign we're calling Expanding Young Horizons to expand the youth shelter by about 1,700 feet. We actually already have the property. We have an open lot just to the south of the current youth shelter there on Broadway. So it will be making an L shape out of our current house structure and adding an additional 8 individual rooms in that section, as well as handicap accessible bathrooms and conference room and so forth. This expansion project is about just under $160,000 project just to expand. We've identified several sources of money that we are working on, and we've got it down to the last $53,000 that needs to be raised in order to pull this project off.
So there's just really a wide variety of youth that stay in the shelter, and by and large it's not through any fault of their own. It's usually they're in a really bad situation and it's a safe place for them. Well, the purpose of the shelter is short term. Ideally it would be from 2 to 4 weeks, 4 weeks being a long stay. But as Jan mentioned, we're the only shelter now, and so that means that our youth are staying longer than they used to. There are fewer options, there are fewer resources out here in the Panhandle and in the western part of the state. And so whereas a youth might come to the shelter, stay very short term, go to court, and then go back to their foster home or their other placement or group home, there's no other placement for them to go to, so they stay at the shelter.
We've had youth who have actually shown up on our doorstep, and because we were full, we had to turn them away. That's really heartbreaking when you know a youth is desperate enough to find the shelter themselves and come to the door.